Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Uncharted 2 Remastered on Brutal difficulty. This is my guide and walkthrough. We're currently on chapter 25 of 26. It is entitled Broken Paradise. So as we attempt to not get killed from the Guardians and from the enemy shooting at us, we're going to make our way over here, get ourselves a checkpoint, and you will be able to pick up an M4 over here. However, once we start the next fight, the game is going to take it away from you, I presume for balancing reasons. So all you have to do is just kind of take shelter behind the cover over here. You've got a heavy that will end up getting killed over here, so be careful about that. Like I say, a heavy and then any soldiers now. We're going to be fighting a pair of guardians over here, getting a checkpoint, and then fighting one of the guardians that throw slings, exploding slings. So you're regardless of whether you picked up that M4, you now have no weapon. So you're going to be coming over here, picking up an AK-47 and a 9mm, as well as getting another checkpoint. Now there are going to be some grenades over here as well. So the difficulty about dealing with the Guardians is that they're very fast and they have crossbows that can instantly kill you. So what I like to do is just quickly throw a grenade where they land at first, at least where one of them lands, take shelter over here, and then I think I'm trying to scour the environment for the grenades. What I want to do is leave this area with 4 grenades, so that shouldn't be a problem, honestly. But staying behind cover over here is quite helpful. If they get in your face, you just need to run away from them. If they're chasing you down, they do some very slow melee attacks, and they can jump on you. And there's that triangle and then the square quick time event. But when they're chasing you, they're not firing at you, so you really don't have to worry about that too much. Just get out of their way, run around, pick up more ammunition, blind fire, and if you want, you can pick up the crossbow that the first one dropped and then take care of the second one with it. But since they're so fast, it can be difficult to hit them with the crossbow. But I believe if you hit them twice with the crossbow, they die. I'm pretty sure it's not just a one-hit kill for these guys, because they're tough. They really are. But I don't care much for the crossbow, quite honestly. So I'm probably not going to pick it up at all. I'm just going to deal with the second one with the AK-47 pretty much. And don't test them, with their crossbow. Now you might be kind of concerned about getting through this chapter, because it's a tough chapter. It really is. There's one section that I debated about how I was going to cover it. It's the section right before the final stretch where there's these guys fighting humans, and it's kind of a dice roll whether you can get the scenario where you want. So I'm gonna tell you how I covered it later, but for now, let's just say that it was a choice that I didn't have to debate about too long. Now, the third one that throws the sling shouldn't be anything that you worry about too much, because they do give you a checkpoint at this time, so you can relax a little bit now. I happen to not die at this point, so these ones are just as fast as the other Guardians. However, they since they're not shooting crossbows at you, they're basically just throwing little sap bombs at you that can stagger you when they hit you. They're quite deadly, of course. It's a deadly enemy, but that's about it. Now, at this time, you can reset the checkpoint so that you can pick up the grenades that repopulate over here. So you definitely want to leave this area with 4 grenades, and And if that doesn't happen, you don't have to worry about it, because I will show you the location of some grenades coming up, and you can secure those and put them in your inventory before you get the checkpoint. Now the next fight is it's just one of those fights that has some notoriety to it. I honestly don't know why it is, quite frankly, because you don't have to do too much to win the first segment of it and get a checkpoint. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the AK-47 that we now have, switching that for the M4, and I think we're just gonna, if we have the 9mm, we're just gonna keep that. That's just all we need. It's all we need for the time being. And in fact, if you don't have too many grenades, like I said, there's gonna be some. So I'm here to don't worry about this chapter too much. You might be thinking to yourself, you know, I really need some help. I'm almost getting to the finish line. You know, this chapter is one that's standing in my way. Bick, I need your help. Well, friend, you already know that you've got my help, and I'm here to get you through it. So, there's only, like I said, that one part that I was debating about for a second, and then I said to myself, you know, a walkthrough shouldn't depend on a roll of a dice, but I understand that at times it can if the game design isn't ideal, and you know, we're just gonna have to take what we can get. So if you come over here with 0 grenades, there's actually a pair of them right by that edit point that I just put, and over to the left. So you don't get locked into a checkpoint until you interact with this door. So you can go around the area, pick up the M4. You might notice that my weapon is switched, and I'll dispense with that weapon switching every 30 seconds joke, even though I did bring it up, didn't I? But we now no longer have the AK-47. We have a stronger weapon called the M4. Now we're gonna have enemies spawned, but not aggroed quite yet. I mean, they're doing their path, and we have got an ultra heavy who, when he knows what's going down, is going to be coming at us and winding his fucking horn. Now, here's the first guy. Take him out with stealth. And anytime you say, what, winding his horn? What the fuck is this guy talking about? It's one of the last lines of Stephen King's The Gunslinger. That's the illusion. And it basically means... You see that shit? Anyway, here's guy number 3. Guy number 4 up here, what I do is I hang on the ledge over here. What winding his horn means, it's just that there's somebody bearing down on you, and they've perceivably got the advantage. That's what it means to me. Okay, now we've taken care of it. Everybody that we can with stealth. I think there are some sap pods over here that you can shoot to knock out some enemies. But what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to aim with my my M4 and see what I can get going for myself. And okay, there might be some resin over there that you can shoot. So I'm going to alert the enemies. There's the ultra heavy. Now he's going to come down winding his horn, and it takes no less than 4 grenades to put this bastard down. So what you want to do is just start throwing the grenades. And if you're fearing that, oh no, I'm wasting every one of my grenades, you don't need to worry, because not only are they going to give you a checkpoint after you defeat these enemies, but see, there's 2 of them here. You can easily get your grenades back. Okay, so now what I do is I come back up these stairs, and what we're going to be doing is multitasking a little bit over here after we take care of these enemies. These enemies need to be killed. Get the fuck out of the way, Chloe. Now, the areas where the enemies can come up, down that set of stairs and up it they can come. And I'm going to show you. It doesn't seem like I can go into cover. Yeah, see, directly up there is there's a fallen part of the building that acts as an incline, and it's a slope that the enemies can use to come up here. So there's only 2 areas that they can come up on. Over there to the right, and directly ahead over there to the left. They will just walk up that ramp that's coming That's part of the building. I might be able to point it out afterwards, but what we're going to be doing is just manning our position right here, making sure nobody comes from behind. Occasionally you'll see a heavy coming up the stairs. It's the game's choice. It's dealer's choice, guys. He'll come up the stairs over here. I'm just trying to see who's down there, if anybody's down there. Or the heavy will come up here. Now, there are usually no more than 2 enemies that come up here. No more than 2, I say. And it's just going to depend on the capriciousness of the artificial intelligence in this game, and your location. You know, it has to do with that. It's dictated by that too. Where they come. Here's the heavy right up here. See how he walked up that slope? Now that's the first guy that comes over here. But just bear in mind that he could just as capriciously come up this set of stairs over to the right and surprise you. And how do you deal with that if he does that? Well, you're just going to have to get into cover on the other side of that wall and take him down. Mayhap throw a few grenades for him, okay? Now, at this point, pick off anybody. It's very easy to get surprised on over here. So, again, you've just got to man both positions and keep your eyes diverted. Here we go. We're gonna push him off. I think he was the last enemy, so I got a leitmotif for myself, and even though I really wasn't planning to do it. Now we've got a checkpoint for ourselves, so that conceivably, if you have 0 grenades, you can, by now, already have 4 for yourself, and at the end of the fight, you can reset the checkpoint, and there are so many grenades here, there's too many, so don't even worry about that. Now what we're going to do is come on over to here, and we're going to pick up the GAU-19, and we're going to bear down on the Guardians over here. Now, it's very difficult to take them out without getting slaughtered, but it's hardly, you know. See, the difficulty for me, it wasn't killing them; it was just getting back into a position where I can seamlessly put the edit mark for myself in. But that's about it. Okay. That's the fight. You get a checkpoint when those Guardians show up, but think about it. How many enemies did you really have to kill on that first segment? Because you wiped out 4 with stealth. You know, we killed the ultra heavy with the 4 grenades. There's foliage getting in my way. But you know, the heavies dealt with. There was just a pair of snipers to pick off, a couple guys on the ground, a heavy, and then you know, like 1 more guy. Now, the last time I did this guide, I cowardly stood up here, but I found that there was absolutely no need to do so. So jump on down here and lighten up these guys with grenades, with a grenade, excuse me. Now, it was a rare thing for me to kill 2 of those 3 enemies. That first grenade is mostly thrown to stagger them, so that while I'm shooting the guy with the grenade launcher, I don't have to worry about any vulnerability. Now, you can safely melee with this guy if you're around the corner over here. And look at the cinematography, the Big Benedict cinematography right there, man. Can't beat it. Unbeatable. Unbeatable. Like me, it's unbeatable. Just kidding. Anyway, so all you need to do, jump down here, throw a grenade into that pack of 3 enemies, and then while they're reacting to it and getting staggered by it, shoot the grenade launcher guy, and now you've got some grenade tossing to do. There's going to be, I believe, at a bare minimum, 2 heavies coming down the path, and sometimes using this grenade technique with the shotgun, it's not sufficient to kill them. Like, they have just too much body armor for you to deal with. So again, you have the safety of this corner over here to melee with them, but it's actually less safe to deal with the first segment of those enemies up on that upper perch. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take care of the sniper rifle guy. He may not. I mean, obviously, does he? Yeah, he's got a dragon sniper rifle. But we are coming up on a part that it's definitely notorious. But anyway, and it's going to be up to you. I am going to not take a grenade launcher into that segment where there's some infighting between the two factions. And my reasoning for not taking it was not because I was worried. Does that make much sense? No, the reason was I thought what I was gonna do was just allow the Guardians to win, but I don't like trying to base a strategy off luck. I just don't. It has nothing to do with my vanity or anything like that. It's just that I've had complaints from people before. And let me just talk about that in a moment, okay? Because there's going to be plenty of time to talk about it. It's a long fight. It really is. But at this point, you've got more heavies spawning down here. This is all on the same checkpoint too, so be quite careful. But if you have the grenade launcher over here, the heavies can be dealt with very easily. And then all you need to do is just take care of these final guys over here. A lot of heavies are thrown at you, but you've got the grenade launcher and potentially a dragon sniper rifle if you want. I'm going to disregard that. I'm just not going to use it. But now when you get into the next section, having a grenade is helpful. Hell, having a grenade launcher is helpful too. But I'm going to be taking the M4 and the 9mm into the fight. Now that was done with the presumption that I was going to be allowing the Guardians to win the fight, but I ended up casting aside that that idea by the wayside because I wanted to not only show you that the fight that we're going to do is highly possible to do without relying on luck. That was great right there. It took a couple tries to kill everybody like that. Don't take the sass into this next part. The sass is not a good choice. But, and also, if you don't have the grenade launcher, I wouldn't blame you because you kind of need the grenade launcher for the fight that we just did. Not the directly last fight, but the one before that in that flooded area. You kind of need that for those heavies. So, you're not going to need the grenade launcher for the next fight. If you want it, you can have it, of course. It's, you know, this is your campaign, not mine. I've got my own campaign to do. But having a few more grenades would have been helpful, quite honestly, over here. So that's my only regret. Alright, now if you want to pursue the path of just clearing this fight with combat, this is what I would suggest. The first thing you want to do is take out these exploding resin lanterns right there, and that will pretty much, if not kill the Ultra Heavy, as well as anybody near him, it will weaken him to the point where you only need to shoot him a little bit more. Now, now this choice, I can understand that, and I'm gonna put this in the most kind of like I'm gonna couch it in friendly and modest terms over here because I realize that most people they really aren't like me. They just want to kind of run through it. They don't want to do any excess fighting. They're they just. They're just different. From my mindset's kind of different. Like when I got here, it wasn't with the thought that, man, I just want to rush through this game, finish it, and get the hell out of here and move on to the next game. No, I'm out to have fun, as much fun as possible, and I wanted to just have, I'm playing a game and I just want to have fun. That's the only thing about this. So when you come into this room, you're gonna notice that the humans are fighting with the Guardians. Now, I did this for about an hour before I won, and I'm telling you, I never saw the humans get killed. Never. The Guardians never killed them. The Guardians, I would say, from my observations, the Guardians lost 100% of the time in all of that fighting with these guys. And I've also had complaints from people before, as this is a Project Redux. I've had people complaining that when they get here, they were telling me, well, I've been because the last time let me just put this in context real quick. The last time I did this guide, I entered this fight and I waited out. I waited it out until the Guardians won, because if you allow the Guardians to win, It's significantly easier to kill, you know, them. There's like 3 of them. There might even be less. You know, it's significantly easier to kill 3 of them as opposed to killing the amount of enemies that you're going to see me kill in this fight, because there's it seems like there's like at least 50 enemies. Like it's an incredible ordeal to kill all these enemies. Their spawn point is on the opposite side of the room through a door, and it's like a beehive. They seemingly never stop spawning. But if you think that the enemies are infinitely spawning here, you're misinformed or ignorant. And the word ignorant is not an insulting word on the face of just the word, okay? It's just that you don't know. And I'm telling you that the enemies do stop spawning because I won this fight and it ended at some point, okay? Now, I've had people complaining to me before that, you know, I've been doing this for a long time. The Guardians never win. And it was somebody that was getting upset because he was trying to follow my strategy where my particular footage last time was of the humans losing, and this guy kept saying, well, the humans keep winning, the Guardians never win. So I don't want to I just didn't want to show that strategy again where you just come up here and rely on a roll of the dice to see if the humans will ever lose. Because honestly, now I agree with the guy. The Guardians hardly ever win. I mean, I never saw the Guardians win. So, so if you don't want to do this fight, you can keep coming into this room and keep allowing the fight to progress. Hell, you can even help the Guardians by staying up where you start and shooting at the humans, and give the Guardians a helping hand at first, and try to put down as many humans as you can. See if that doesn't work. I do. Now on Crushing, when I went through this, the humans lost. But when I did this on Brutal, it has nothing to do with the difficulty, mind you. I just, for some reason, the Guardians kept losing. You know, I spent, at the very least, an hour doing this fight. I had a hell of a time doing this. It was fun. So you can come into this room and just try your luck. Now, how long you have to wait depends on the capriciousness of the game. You know, so it's either you can do the fight or you can just wait it out. You know, it's going to be up to you, but I'm telling you, it's highly possible. And the more ammunition you bring into this, the better. The more grenades definitely will be better for you. But the nice thing about this fight, aside from the fact that these 2 women you're with can fuck up your SWAT turn, and it really annoys me the times it messes up your SWAT turn. The nice thing about this fight is that this location that we're at on this side of the room is very. I'm gonna say this word a little loosely. It's safe, you know. And I know that safety is just an illusion on brutal difficulty. But when I say safe, I mean that the enemies, they will never. First of all, they will never rush you. There's like a line, a little bit past the columns where we're hiding behind, that they just do not cross. They never rush you, and they never come up beyond a certain point. So that's actually kind of comforting. However, they can get to positions where you can be at a position where they're just at the right angle where they can hit you. But if you're behind cover, and if you're continually aware of where enemies are standing if they're close to you, if you just stand behind cover and only move when you think it's absolutely safe, then and also look at the areas where the AI, your friendly AI, is firing, that could be good too. These grenades are so fair. It's not even funny. It's so nice. But as you can probably imagine, one of the issues here is, look at this. That grenade was really close to me. It didn't even scar me at all. But you're going to see, that was a little bullshitty right there. But the problem here is you're going to run out of ammunition. you need much more ammunition to deal with these enemies than you could possibly carry into this room. So the issue then becomes, how am I going to get some more ammunition? So the answer to that is, you need to be bold. You need to be confident and bold, and a little lucky, and you need to know when it's safe to come out and get a little bit of cover, a little bit of ammunition for yourself in. And the main thing that bothers me over here is Elena and Chloe disrupting my SWAT turn. That really bothers me. And let me say this too. I did die during a SWAT turn once, and now you might say, I knew it. Buck Benedict's a liar. You know, you don't get iframes when you do the SWAT turn. Yes, you do. You get iframes when you do the SWAT turn. Did I say you get 100% iframes? No, I never said that. I said you get iframes, which can mean as many as 2. Okay, guys? You might get 2. I'm just saying you get iframes when you do the SWAT turn. You're not completely invincible, but you do get some iframes. I don't know if it's 2 or 20 or 200. I don't know. But I know that you do get iframes, but I also know this. You can get killed during the SWAT turn, but at least they give you some iframes, even if it's as few as 2. Okay? See this guy with the skeleton armor? See, he will not go as far as he's going. That's the extent. And there are exploding resin lanterns, too, that you can use. I believe that they all got shot out by all the gunfire. But use those, too, because as you saw at the beginning of the video, we damn near killed an ultra heavy with just 2 of those lantern pots, and I've killed him with 2 before as well. He was just in a better spot than when I did it last time. But it isn't impossible to go out and get a little ammunition. It really isn't. And this SWAT turn and the cover transition, indispensable. And if you don't know how to do the cover transition, they did teach it to you in chapter 2. I believe it was chapter 2. When you're doing the stealth section with Flynn. See right there, the heavy over there to the left. If I'm standing in a bad spot, he could hit me, but he's only going to come out a certain way. And if I'm at the complete right side of that cover, then there's no way that he can hit me. There's just no way. So I like that. I like that there's a limit to where they can move. And the big problem is most folks. You know, I can't put up with this, Bick. You know, I can't. I don't want to do this. I completely understand. So there is that fallback of depending on the dice roll, because you see that people keep coming out of that spawn point. Now, what if you put yourself in that spawn area? That does cease the flow of the enemies. I've seen people do that as well. So if you were perhaps to bring a bunch of grenades and a grenade launcher and kill that ultra heavy, you could get to, in theory, you could get to the spawn point and completely stop the spawning of the enemies in that regard too. And this fight over here, it was raised to Wagnerian heights, guys. At the end, because at the oh shit, bitch, holy shit, see that? That's the illusion of being safe. You think you're safe, but you're a little bit too far out, and that fucker damn near put me down. And it was nice to see him just fall right there. See that? My SWAT turn was messed up. Now there's a lot of times during this fight when enemies, like all of the enemies that are spawned, are on one side of this structure in the middle. So you do have, they're either going to be on one side or another, but you've got to be real careful about that still. Because there might be somebody hiding that you can't quite tell where he is. But for the most part, your SWAT turn does not get interrupted. It's just those rare because when you're doing a SWAT turn and one of the AI is on it, they'll move out of your way. They should. They don't always, but they should. And I did charge a last guy in this part at the end too. I took all of my, see this? There's a couple guys left. I'm not sure who exactly is left, but we just have a few soldiers left, like 4 guys. And when I charged this last guy, I did it at so much peril. I risked so much, but it was almost like I knew I had some sort of a deity on my side that would not allow me to get killed as I charged this last fuck. And charge him I did. Charge him I did, guys. When I did it, I heard the strains of Wagner when I was doing it. Anyway, we're almost done with this. We're almost done. Couple guys left. Couple guys left. So we're gonna oh, I think we've now picked up the micro, so we at least have something to use that is not almost out of bullets. So how many enemies do we? Oh, I thought Chloe was an enemy. I started punching her out of fear. Okay, so at this point, I now know that there's 2 enemies. At the time, I thought there was just 1. I do believe that there are 2 enemies left. So what I'm gonna do is see, that's one of them over there, and now I need to make sure that when I go up and charge him, that there is nobody else. I need to make sure that he's the last guy, because if I'm gonna charge a last guy, I need to make sure that, you know, he is the last guy. I don't want to be put down by somebody else. And so here we go. We're going in for it. We're going in for it. I don't like the Uzi, but I'll take it. I'll take anything that has some bullets in it. I'm desperate. Okay, now I know. I'm almost positive that this is the last guy. And I could have shot him from the safety of cover, but per the guide light motif, I'm going to charge a last fuck, and I'm going for him, guys. I'm going for him. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can stop me. And you've got to think of it when you play that game. Nothing can stop you. There we go. Now we're going to do our obligatory jump for joy, because we've got a checkpoint and we deserve to be jumping right there. Now you get a checkpoint. Now what you want to do is you want to grab this rocket launcher and take out the Guardians over here. Can you believe that fight though? Like, you thought chapter 6 was, as I mentioned, a war on drugs. What we just did was an epidemic. We stopped that whole epidemic, man. We put everybody down. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Okay, so now what you want to do is have a look-see around the environment, and you can take a rocket launcher into the next fight. I think you can if you want to. I wouldn't do it though. I've only got access to the Uzi, which I hate, but I couldn't find a 9mm. And I'm also going to be taking my my M4 with its 160 rounds into the next fight. We've got a 2-segment fight coming up that's kind of difficult, but it's fun, and it's kind of bittersweet because it's the last fight of the chapter before the boss of the game. And haven't quite decided how I'm going to take care of Lazarevich. I'm not sure. Should I be doing one thing or another? Haven't decided yet. I'm gonna decide when the time comes.
We're almost there.
So just head on up the stairs. You're gonna get another checkpoint here, and we will do the last fight. Okay, this is the final fight of the chapter. Sometimes when you grab the dragon sniper rifle like that, if you're not lucky, then it will the M4 that you're switching it out for, if you do have an M4, it will fall off the map, and in which case I would suggest restarting. They really should fix that. The Dragon Sniper Rifle is rather difficult to get without getting killed. I would suggest anybody who's somewhat close to you, you don't waste the Dragon Sniper Rifle ammunition on them. You may have, I believe, I one-shot killed the dragon, or the skeleton masked heavy with a. If you hit him in the head with the Dragon Sniper Rifle, you can instant kill him with, or, one-shot him, as it were. So you're in a situation here where there are a ton of enemies down the lane. They're dug in. A couple of enemies will approach you. I don't know if you would say that they technically rush you. As you can see, Elena's wounded. Chloe's trying to just prop her up so that she doesn't fall down. Most of the enemies are going to be dug in. That is to say, they won't charge you. The skeleton masked heavy that we one-shotted, now he will probably come right up to you and stick his gun in your face. So, and the other enemies, while they won't charge you necessarily, they will come up fairly close to you. Now, once you've killed the last guy in wave 1 of 2, the AI is going to advance. The moment Nathan says, "We've got company," or whatever line the game, I don't know if it has multiple lines, but I heard him say, "We've got company," several times. The moment he says that, fall back. You want to fall back and use any remaining dragon sniper bullets to take care of the enemies that are now spawning. Now, this wave has fewer soldiers, but the heavy count is rather high. Now, one of the problems you're going to face on this part is that you are going to be aiming with the third-person cover trick. However, it's not in the traditional third-person perspective because we're aiming in with the sights of the sniper rifle. So it's rather difficult to ascertain how far exactly you're sticking your neck out of cover because you're not in the traditional perspective of the third-person perspective. So that's usually what I end up counting all my deaths for. While I'm trying to zoom in with the sniper rifle, I'm not really sure how far exactly I'm exposed. So it's a very delicate line that you have to get used to. This is a fun fight. Just be aware that there is not a checkpoint in between the two waves, and you've got to be quite careful. But I would say that the primary thing is not knowing exactly how far you're sticking out of cover. And remember that whole business about leitmotifs and charging the last enemy? Do you think I'm not going to do it? Hell no. I said leitmotif for a reason. I'm going to scale this, and I'm going to kick this bitch in the head because I think he deserved it. You needn't scour around the environment because you're going to get a set weaponry for the boss of the game, and that will take place in Chapter 26. For Big Benedict Productions, this has been Chapter 25. I very much hope that it helped you. And I will see you in the final chapter, the final boss. Take care.